Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining me today. Polina here, talking to you about the incredible full moon in Aries on the 13th. I'm sorry this is a little late. It's already, I believe, the 10th or the 11th of October, so we only have a few days. So I will talk to you about this moon, and then I also touch on every single sign that's going to be available on Patreon. If you find this uncomfortable, that's okay. I've just been doing many different medicines here in Mexico, so I've been taking care of my health in a different way. If you want to know more about my process, you can ask me. I've already had a lot of people ask me as to like what I'm going through and the different medicines that I'm using and things. If you need advice and things, if you'd like to come to Mexico, you're welcome. So yeah, so that's basically my thing at the moment, and I'm sorry for not being as diligent as usual. So let's talk about this incredible moon on the 13th. Okay, so one of the reasons things happen to you is not because of this type of phenomena. It's because you have chosen it to be that type of game. If you have ever decided that it was irrelevant what another person said, how another person acted or reacted, if you have ever been reactive yourself, and if you ever danced the dance with people or with life on a more kind of like altruistic but happy, angry vibe, if you've always been a little bit angry and a bit sad and a little bit manic at the same time, it's going to escalate for you. So what I mean is, when we come to believe there's a certain equation in our lives and a certain type of golden mean, this sometimes stays for a very long time to come. So I'm here talking about determination and pre-existing concepts and ideas that many people have about anything. So for example, if you believe that you're always the sad guy, always the scared guy, always a guy in the corner, or the person that never gets to speak, or the person that never gets to love, these concepts are going to start to come out, and this week and the next are going to be tested with a few things. Tested with love and lust and abundance, and also with fear and with power. Some of us are going to finally fully replenish their organisms and their faith in reality, and we are overdue. Some people are going to find love at first sight. Some people are, finding sex and romance and beauty and the dance of life really, on this really high, beautiful note. It is all being unpacked and unpackaged for us, and maybe what we have deserved for a long time is finally coming to fruition. There are some very long-lasting effects and long-haul formulas coming to the surface, to fruition. So maybe something that you prayed for a long time ago is going to start to come out now. But for those of us who have a certain determination and aggression against ourselves or against the world or against each other, and we have designed for ourselves that we only speak in a certain way and we only let people as far as this to get close to us, or we have a certain conduct with this world, or we have a certain type of obsession or neurological attachment to money and gifts from God or gifts from love or gifts from life. Any attachment, any issue that we have really tried to embed is probably going to be a hindrance. There is a very interesting thing though that happens with the universal mind. If you trust it and you think it's right, sometimes no matter what it will be. So for example, if you made a formula, always the bridesmaid, never the bride, this may continue and correct you more than you correct it. So we have entities coming to the surface now. Entities such as the laws and regulations and the systems of unity and separation that we ourselves have devised. And these can be part of an upbringing, these can be part of a religious system or a cult system, or these could be just part of your time here, so it's like, what is correct, what is polite, what is the journey, or what is the journeyman, all of these interesting ideals can be very much corrupted during this time and could be corrupting all the time, perhaps, unless you look at them now. So I'm seeing this, or I'm hearing that this Chiron moon conjunction is going to really take it to the limit or take it to the top, and we're going for the 7th house from Libra, Libra, the 7th house from Aries. It's going to be a very interesting human experience, I think, and we're going to start to join the dots and recognize also where there's no love but servitude. and where we have certain types of missions and emissions, but not really enough joy to be had. Where does life feel bland? This is a very interesting feeling. Where does life feel bland? Where does it feel almost as if it never had a heart, or like it's not working? Yet everything is here, like components are here, people are here, the magic seems to be happening, but overall it's not feeling very good or very godly or very enough. There is a feeling of bland or unrelatable realities coming to the surface, and sometimes when we've overgrown, okay, so candida parasites, deliberate, collaborations, too much work, too much arguments, too much things to ask and to say, we have overdone it, we have overcooked it, and I've talked about this since September month. Make sure you're not overcooking and overdoing, because sometimes the mastery or the goodness or the holiness of anything is taken out when there is an overflooding. So please keep patient and gentle, and as a very good calligraphy artist, or as a very, very good watercolor artist, which is the essence truly, of creator in the sense of creation, and in a sense, it needs to be effortless, and it needs to be done gracefully and with grace in all of it. So with kindness, generosity, and grace, and unobsessive components. If you have seen obsessive in yourself or other people, you might, like obsessive nature in yourself or other people, you might need to ask about it now, or perhaps forever hold your peace. These stories or these mental images or mentalities or formulas that we've created for a long time now are going to stick. And well, also if you are at this point with a very beautiful person, if you have found the love of your life, or if you're finally fully allowing your love to bloom, all the better for it, because there are some constants. Very beautiful time to consummate a marriage, very good time to be in a wedlock, or to be out of it, but also to consider the next humble, beautiful step towards a current partner, or maybe an existing situation that is now creating itself. If you're not, and you're really perplexed and you're really tired of your human karma and you can't quite find the one, don't worry about it. So basically now, if it is not on the surface, you don't need to deal with it. And this is an interesting kind of rule of thumb here for most of this year, has been, if it's not asking your attention, don't deal with it. So pig year, I've always said, is not so good for picking at things, like picking at things, trying to pick things up, trying to go in there and trying to kind of like, nail and hammer, scalpel and tongs, play with yourself or your life. It is not a good time to undress anybody as well, and to pick apart what you think they are not to be, or what they think they are that they're not. So it's a very, very easy time to have absolute abyss, absolute and total abyss, because Chiron and Aries sometimes makes it quite angry or quite itchy. We can have like a total abyss should we burst anything or anyone, and should we over-try, overdo, over-harness, or just over-control or over-create. So if we are doing things overboard, Libra is an important time, we're doing things overboard, we should probably now see results of what that overboard means. So for example, if you have a very intensely controlled way of life as well, if you're always praying, or if you're always talking about superhuman stuff, this can also be something that can burst. Even the goodness that you bring, even the love that you bring, even the food that you share with others, even the loyalty that you provide, on some level, if it is not asked for, and if it is in absolute servitude and in overboard fluctuation, you may not like what you see. So it's very, very likely that people are going to be afraid of each other if they don't have a normal, neutral feeling. So for example, if you are bringing out a brand, or you're bringing out a concept, anything that is out of the norm and that is very purging, or like very maybe insincere, or is playing a game what has not a very clean and clear conduct. For example, if you have been creating this seemingly universal brand that is like Pandora's box type of brand, with one thing coming out of another and another and another, and you have a very much difficulty explaining what your concept is or what your brand provides, that becomes unhealing for other people. And also there's going to be a lot of us feeling sad for you as well if you're someone who is hiding the essence and you're still trying to do a million things, but are not able to basically sacrifice these labels and titles and go to the nitty-gritty of your human truth. Your human truth. This is difficult. This is not for the light of heart. This is not, how can I say, this is not for the weak in spirit. But like sometimes, you know, all of those imaginary things that we create, you know, like YouTube channels and obsessive going over our accounts and like obsessive OCD cleaning, anything where we are trying to make perfection and we are beautifying ourselves or others, and we're trying to bring extra into this world. Some of the time it's actually out of loneliness, and sometimes it's because of lack of human joy. This is not for everybody, but for some people, you know, you might be pushing and trying to create something in great esteem and stride, but please let it happen naturally. Or if it won't, maybe it never had to. It's about letting go of extremes, and to some degree just letting things die. Because Libra, if you can just let things go in Libra, sometimes Scorpio is a much better month. So you don't have to like get your hands dirty on Scorpio, you know, because you kind of already can see. If you can let things out in Libra, let things out. It's like rabbit out of the hat, you know, the dove out of your hands. Like let things out, let things go. Some of the time you'll find it much simpler later on. The perfect part of Libra is relaxation, letting things be alright. It's alright. It's like, it's alright, I don't need you here helping me, you know, or it's like, it's alright, like, that's just how it went, or it's fine, you know, it's okay. Like, you see, like, it's okay. You just kind of like let it go. And also, please, let go of any roles that you're still trying to harbor. So for example, I'm always going to be that type of man. I will always be, you don't have to harbor. Maybe behind that strong man that you're trying to be is a very weak boy that never really got enough time with his mom or his dad. So there could be a very easy, very humble, very normal explanation for some of the greatest feats and the strangest things. You know, it's fine to be strange, it is fine to be strong, it's fine to be creative, but then there comes a certain type of emotion. If I don't get an audience, where do I go? Like, if I don't get this person in my life, where do I stay? Like, there comes a very strong emotion that can be part of a very dark cycle, a very dark dream for many people, and it starts with an awful amount of beauty, actually, not being able to be seen. So, for example, if you don't see the person in front of you, but you want to be seen by the world, you know, there's a big irony here. If you don't want to do well in your personal private life and you don't look after yourself, and then you expect like this huge monetary result that's controlling your life, that's an irony. So you're creating an issue, you know, you're creating an interest in abundance, but abundance that you actually have, you don't enjoy and you don't perfect. It's like you're not looking after yourself. And at the same time, you're wanting that ultimate abundance, which is probably like, you know, $3 or $4 million in your bank account. That's not love. And we have to basically realize that the world isn't actually that bad. You know, it's not like falling to pieces how a lot of people think. It's just that we are all kind of on our own little spin, and we actually forgot that we don't owe anybody. And out of this mechanism, it's very difficult for many people to leave, to come out. The mechanism of the mom and dad story, you know, the beauty myth as well, you know, and all these different, you know, seemingly vultures that are out to get you actually live inside your own mind. So if you pay attention to TV, if you are paying attention to any kind of specific case, maybe there are those things inside of you, but why don't you just do yourself a favor and look at yourself directly? Maybe you yourself need to feel more fulfilled instead of trying to find fulfillment in other people's lives. Also, if you're somebody who's obsessed with YouTube or social media, perhaps there's many stories that you yourself have not resolved and have to face now. And these are too hard to maybe look at or face because they require maybe some healing or some time to yourself, or maybe some big reality checks. But the laws of nature kind of like don't quite even work this way. I mean, in a way, it's all just really awesome. Like how it sorted itself out as it is now, it's all very awesome. There are lots of us that are going to start really getting it, just understanding that we don't have to scrutinize anything. We don't have to pick apart our world. We don't have to be constantly in fear or guilt or tremble in pleasure to feel something. And then these people, those of us that have like awakened and become kind of like really open to be part of a larger collective or larger group, as Pagir has led us towards a certain type of sustainable energy, a certain type of sustenance that has created perhaps a few new cultures and a few new vibrations and maybe a new merging for human beings, or like a new kind of like even scar tissue over scars in humanity, or it has created like a graft to the new skin. Pagir has created almost like a new skin for us all, in a sense. Without a doubt, there are some of us that are ready to be completely whole and to work cross-country, cross-continent, globally, and also to work across the world with world issues and global understanding. And we're kind of like stepping into all of this now. And it's kind of like crazy to see it happen in my life as well, perhaps as in yours. But we don't have to like yell at the TV. We don't have to yell at the box. We don't have to yell at Facebook or Skype to get our points across. We don't have to shake a fist at the guy at the bar. Now is a beautiful, it's like one of the wisest times to basically stay in and to get yourself together and to become your own warrior, your own fighter within, without trying to purge or agonize anything. So it's like a really super amazing moon to really feel your self-association within and to feel beauty, vitality, and strength as you are. With those of us that have projects now on the way, or that have ideas and are going to start maybe cultivating a brand new idea or cultivating a brand new scheme of life, please check yourself first. Like really check yourself, like reality checks. If you're going to run out there and create some ginormous, thing, please understand also the cause and effect of it as well. Uranus and Taurus should really have woken us all up to the fact that we have sustainability issues. Maybe we're not making things out of the right fabrics or materials yet. Maybe we don't need to buy or invent or reinvent the whole world. Maybe, especially for our generations who are in the generation that's in their 30s and 20s, late 20s, mid to late 20s, like the idea of like buying things in bulk, reorganizing, re-advertising, ripping apart part of your own actual future, if you rip apart the past, and trying to do things too fast and too far. You don't have to do it. Everything's already here. Everyone's already kind of home. Pagir should not right now have any trouble placing you in a very nice, safe environment. And for these people who feel it's never enough and what they have or who they have around is just never going to be good looking or nice feeling or nice smelling enough, that's okay. You just have your own truth. But we have to really break apart any kind of obsessive, compulsive personality traits that we have, and also making vision or making business or making love out of darkness, or out of like fun, trying to show someone up, how much you can do, or trying to show another person what you've always been. All of that stuff doesn't have to be yours. You don't have to create in spite. The way you start is the way you finish. How are you going to start this? If you are in the beginning again, and if you are with a larger picture in mind. You got suddenly the funding to do what you wanted, or you finally found the guy or the girl, doesn't matter. Okay, so here we have some really good fresh starts, and perhaps these have been brewing for quite a while. These don't seem to me like have come from nothing. I feel these have come from something or somebody that you've previously been or that you know. And these have to be real, like just make sure that when you're starting something, you are starting a bigger picture of your life, or you're working with the details like finances, debts, what goes where, like what goes up must come down. Make sure that you are not arguing with yourself, and also have a look as to how it affects the whole ecosystem of your world and the whole ecosystem of your life. Does it have any kind of weird effect on the environment? How's it going to look? How's it going to be? If you are somebody who's creating a certain product, does it have any byproducts? Does it create darkness, or does it create light? What are all the different ironic and unironic messages that you already feel and hear in your heart about anything or anybody that is in your way or that is happening on your journey? And please make sure that you are super freaking safe. Making sure that you're safe, that you can handle it, that you can handle yourself at this point. When you're going somewhere, when you're going with someone, when you are facing dreams and desire, as Venus and Scorpio, surely, is going to make us argue that we haven't yet had what we want, and that we want much larger, much better than before, and we want it now, and we want it with our full beings. Just make sure that each step that you are taking as a dreamer and as a co-creator of reality at large, that you're not like, how can I say, like witnessing yourself as a toy, as a Sims character, and nothing really matters. Because Libra, as all air signs, sometimes can kind of like shut off a certain part of us, and everything seems like a cartoon character, like everything seems like a cartoon, like a game. Make absolute sure that as you are exploring these next few facets of yourself, or as more is uncovered by life, that you don't make it kind of like a little game for yourself, that you consider all beings involved, and you consider yourself as you are now, and all those other things will surely secure and come into place when it's time. So if you are ready and you're not sure which way to go or how to concentrate on the next few steps, where you are now is fine. Please don't have any regret. Have a look at how you can balance and maybe form some things in your world using existing ingredients or existing knowledge. We don't need to design the bicycle here, unless you've been well and truly on the way, and progress is very simple in terms of innovation. Right now, redesigning the bicycle is not the best time. So what I mean is, there are some golden means, there are some existing therapies, there are some completely simple and easygoing people and ways to deal with all that comes your way. There is nothing that we need to right now pull out of the ether unless we've been going there for a while. We don't have to jump up and down and pretend we're something that we're not. And we should probably be at this time very sustainable and very sincere about who we are and what is this kind of world. So what kind of world? How are you? What does your world say about you? Okay, identity crisis a little bit sometimes, How does your world resemble you? Who are you? And what kind of world do you live in? Okay, what kind of people do you know? How are you going? What are you wearing? What are you sporting? What are you supporting? Okay, what are you packing and unpacking? What are you maybe sick of? And how are you with the opposite gender, maybe, or the same gender? Your choice. But how are you going with everything? Is there perhaps something sad happening? Is there a pattern? Maybe it's time to see a psychologist for people with adamant truths that just don't work. with adamant truths. I am this, I am that. You're not giving me, not providing me. The world is not my friend. Everybody who's really like angry, like a rash, like an anger, it never will cease until you can find maybe something else to do. And unless you can calm yourself and do your own thing, sometimes life doesn't get easier, you know. So anger, agitation, you know, it's like madness, human madness, and just destruction of your time, you know. Also, everything like this, don't worry about it. This can come to an end, but sometimes you need to be patient and prepare to listen. So if you're hearing me, if you're hearing other people that are trying to relate you to source, or relate you to like a greater guidance, or just guidance in general, or try to bring it back to earth in a sense, try to see us as well, you know, these people that are actually there. And on some level, they could be the most boring, humiliating people because they're not out there, you know, they're not out there enough, maybe, you know, maybe they're just very secure, you know, they just like sit there and wait for you. With everyone, there's got to be at least one of these people that just sits there and just waits for you to come down. And if you can, also neutralize yourself if you want. We don't have much time, but cleansing is best. Always cleansing. It's my little secret to the world, cleansing all the time. But if you don't want to, that's fine. Maybe try to cut out food for just one day or just one evening, and replenish yourself with alkaline things like baking soda and water. Very, very quick way to alkalize if you have constant rashes, urinary tract infections, you know, pain. Some of the time, just water will do you. But yes, baking soda a little bit if you are in crisis is fine. Maybe also doing a saltwater flush. Maybe drinking a lot of green tea for some people, and for those that are actually over green tea, over green tea, you might want to just do like say cucumber juice or celery juice instead, and then increase your vitamins. So organ support. I'm doing that now. If you could, please refrain from picking and choosing things outside of yourself. I want this in this color. I want this in that color. You know, I want to go to this place. I want to go to that place. I want to wear this dress. Like, some of this is just inconsistency inside. Some people don't know this, but like pickiness and choosiness with other people and with things like stuff, sometimes usually is a telltale sign that a person hasn't got something inside. And for us, sometimes it's havoc to find peace inside. So we try so hard to find it outside with pleasing sounds, pleasing colors, and yeah, everything like that is totally true and fine. But if you work with you, you have everything, okay? Know thyself, know the universe. You are the shortcut to all things you think you might have ever missed or ever wanted, okay? So you just work with you, work with your body, work with your infections, any kind of symptoms. Not just with the doctor, I mean with the earth, you know, working out any kind of issues that you have in here. Could just be lack of a certain vitamin in your diet, you know, watching yourself, you know, not overeating, watching your weight, you know, watching your time, watching how you do things, your energy. Is it level? Is it not? You know, are you feeling regular? Are you not? Are you going to the bathroom okay? Are you not? Do you put all of you in the front, you know, outwardly, extrovertedly, and then inside you don't have that much to share? What are your imbalances? And I hope that for some of you guys, just a day of fasting and a whole lot of celery juice or cucumber juice will do it. So lay back, enjoy. Libra is not for wanting and needing, though we do have these very interesting, passionate highlights during this time. Sometimes it's just about being paid back, karmically paid back, receiving because being given because we have deserved it on some level. And that should not be too neutral for you, like accept it and also integrate it as fast as you can. So you met somebody, don't blow them out of proportion. It creates karmic spell. You know, you met somebody, integrate them. They walk away, integrate that. Integrate another person, integrate that. There's going to be a lot of time in Scorpio to pull things apart and look right through, but right at this point, you don't need to be heavy-handed about your progress. So thank you very much. Enjoy. I will now make 12 tiny videos that I'm going to put on Patreon that are going to be about all the signs during this time. And yes, I hope that you enjoy them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for being here and witnessing my journey. I will be back with more reports later. Have a look at my work, have a look at what I do. If you'd like to come to Mexico, you're always welcome because it's becoming my work. I'm going to concentrate on working with plants and helping people create their own shortcuts to source. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you next time.